today is I'm talking about some experiences that I had recently with some businesses and, how that left me feeling as a consumer, and also, relating that to what small businesses should know about how you look to a client or to a customer, and how you can avoid looking, being seen in a poor light. And I think lots of times we don't necessarily recognize and realize that the little things that we do can have tremendous impact. And that impact can be love you. And that impact could be, ooh, I'll never do business with you again. So I want to share what those experiences are. And I also want to hear from you. What experiences have you had that made businesses memorable, and maybe in a good way and maybe in not so good way? Because one of the things that I think all business owners really, thank you for saying it's a good topic. You can jump in on this seat and join the conversation. Please share your experiences. What's your first name? Let someone help. What's your first name? Good morning. And I see Stephanie's there too. One of the things that I think, Stephanie, we got a couple of Stephanies in the room. Awesome. That sometimes what people don't necessarily realize and recognize is that when you have a business and somebody has a good experiences, they are more than likely to tell 3 people. If somebody has a poor experience with you, they are likely to tell 20 people. So it's really, really important to be mindful of how you're perceived by the public at all times. So I'm going to share with you what happened this weekend, and this past week, because today's Sunday, right? And then I'll tell you, from a consumer point of view, how it left me feeling, what I did as a result, and how we can learn from both experiences. All right. So first, I had a tremendous experience. We've had some leaking in our house and some mold growth. And so we called out ServPro to come and assess the damage. So the ServPro guy comes, and poor thing, he comes, I'm like on a phone call. And I'm just like, can you wait 5 minutes? He's like, sure. Now, mind you, good morning, Costa. Welcome. We're talking about good and bad experiences in business. AJ, if you want to jump in the seat, definitely come on in. So the ServPro guy comes, he's outstanding. I mean, like outstanding. I'm like, granted he was late, but I was okay with that because I was on the phone and he gave me a window. So I wasn't too upset with him. When he came, I was like, okay, can you just take a seat for a minute? He's like, sure, no problem. So he sits down. I'm like, you need water or anything? No, I'm good. So I wrap up my phone call. This guy's been tremendously patient, but he's got a smile. He's warm. He's like, right off the bat, put me at ease. All right, I'm going to let you in, AJ. Come on in. Good morning, AJ. As AJ comes in. Good morning. I'll give you some props for coming in. Love people who jump in hot seats and stuff. Hello, Severus. How you doing? I probably just put your name, so please, if I did, please excuse me. All right, so the ServPro guy comes in. I mean, he's warm, he's engaging. Right off the bat, feel at ease. He's got complete eye contact, firm handshake. I show him the damage. He looks at it, he assesses it, and then I start asking like a barrage of questions, because when somebody's coming in to deal with mold, you might have to leave your house. You don't know how damaging it is, And right off the bat, he's answering questions. He's like, okay, this is exactly what we're going to do here. And he's walking me through the process, and he's saying it to me in a way that's easy to understand, because I don't know his business. I don't really know what they do, but he's like even breaking down his technical terms and bringing them into my language, So as a business owner, it's really important to recognize that you have a language that your clientele may or may not get. And so he was able to like turn it into layman's speak. He runs through the process. I'm like, this is awesome. This guy is fantastic. I don't have to worry about anything as far as this company coming in to handle my business. Now, something you should know about me, I am a former sales trainer for a very large pharmaceutical company. And, I used to train the entire sales force. And this company was voted the best of the best of the best amongst clients and consumers for like 12 years in a row. And so I have really highly unfair and high standards when it comes to customer satisfaction. So I'm like watching him like a sales trainer. I'm like, the eye contact, the rapport, the breaking down, the telling me why it's important for me, telling me what I need to know, being direct about his answers, making me feel comfortable, showing me he's an expert. I mean, he was like top of the top. So it was a really great experience, to the point that I not only told him what a great experience it is, because I think it's really important for people to know when they do well, and I even contacted his corporate office and let them know what a great experience I had with him. Phil was awesome. And then I sent him an email like, hey, I let him know, let him know I also sent this to your corporate office. And I really think that that's important, that we praise people and recognize them for their efforts and share that recognition. And then went on my Facebook wall and put all that information about how great of an experience it was. So, this guy got kudos everywhere. And it was phenomenal. Now, that was experience number one. Fantastic. Loved it. Experience number two was a little bit different. So I take my dog to the vet. And I had to take my dog to the vet at like the end of September or beginning of September for just a routine visit. And they're like, okay, he's going to get, these shots and he's going to get all these vaccinations. And I'm like, okay, great. Well, they're like, well, we can't give him his rabies shot though, because the plan that you have is about to run out, but it renews at the end of this week. So if you come back next week, you can get the rabies shot as a part of your plan, which I'm like, okay, why didn't you just tell me that so I didn't have to come here twice? But they're like, well, we want you to get the best of both worlds. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of silly. I could have just missed what was left in the plan and just had the same comprehensive plan a week later. It's fine. So I go back, take the dog back, and I go over with them. Okay, he was just here this last week. This is what he's had. This is what he needs. He basically only needs rabies shots. Okay? Well, they go through the comprehensive exam again and double vaccinate him. Now, thankfully, my dog is fine, but that could have been harmful. And even when I was talking to them and walking them through it, I had to correct them on multiple occasions, like, no, he's had that vaccine. No, he doesn't need that. No. And what's happening is I'm talking to the tech who's bringing me in. This is her on the computer the whole time. She's never looking up and making eye contact with me. She's looking confused when she does. She's like, because the computer's telling me. And I'm like, but me, human, I'm standing here and I'm sharing with you what is actually happening. Don't rely on your computer. So as you can imagine, when I figured out that they double vaccinated my dog, I was so pissed. Because I'm like, okay, first I walked you through it and you did it anyway. And you relied on your computer, right? So of course now I have to call them back. I'm livid. I reamed the girl, knowing it's not her fault, but letting her point out, trying to point out to her what happened. And the girl's like, but if I look in your file, it says that. Again, stop looking in my files and start talking to me. And so, she's like, I'll let the chief of staff know and I'll take care of that. And then, of course, now it's a weekend, so I had to wait. But I'm going to have to call their corporate office for a very different reason. Welcome. Oh, yeah, I am so dropping that vet. You can, forget it. Welcome, Hatren. So nice to have you here. So for anybody who's just jumping in, I'm sharing good experiences and not so good experiences in business and how they were handled. And of course, I go to social media and I put that company on blast as well. So the big takeaways in this is if you're doing your business well, people will laud your efforts. They're probably not going to tell as many people, not as many people are as rambunctious as I am about praise and stuff. Sometimes they're just like, ooh, that's my best little secret. But I can also tell you, if you are not serving your clientele well, they're also going to tell people. And if you're a small business owner and you're building, you want the good praise and you want to avoid the not so good praise. And when you're getting the not so good praise, that runs a lot faster and a lot farther. So the goal is protect your business, protect it at all accounts. Good morning. Massachusetts. Woo, woo. I'm a New England girl. I'm a Connecticut girl. Hey, hey. So that's just a little something to share with you. And AJ here works with small businesses all of the time. He educates small businesses about just what we're talking about. Oh, hey, Cyber, you from Connecticut too? Where? You gotta put that in the thing. New Haven. Girl, we gotta talk. Because I'm originally from New Haven. Okay, I grew up in Cheshire, but I'm from New Haven. We'll talk. Um, so, in any event, as a small business owner, as you build your reputation, it's really, really important for you to protect your reputation and to be aware of what are people saying about me. So even asking for feedback. So I can talk about this all day, but I really want AJ's perspective because he runs a council that is all about promoting small businesses or promoting businesses of all sizes, I imagine. And then, he gives education about that. So AJ, let me stop rambling and why don't you share some feedback?
Well, first of all, I never consider you rambling on, always words of wisdom. So thank you for allowing me to join your blab this morning. What I like to express to many of the members with my organization is customer service. And customer service doesn't mean a smile and being attentive, but also understanding what's going on behind the scenes at times with that potential client, patient, customer, as we may call them in our various fields. I actually did work in the veterinary field for many years, and I was actually teaching veterinary consulting in Pennsylvania, mainly in all the burg cities. But what I found was a huge neglect, and it's mainly it boils down to the owners of the business, how they are perceived as how their employees are going to personify your business. So bad business is everywhere, and we always like to prevent that bad Yelp or bad review on any form of social media from taking place. There's so many ways. I mean, I could take a coffee shop, I can compare it to a veterinary hospital, but engagement with eyeball-to-eyeball contact with, as you mentioned, when you walked into the veterinary clinic, the staff, the tech was just looking down at her phone or on the computer. Why would you come in and want a shot? I mean, that program was just, you described as funky.
Oh, it's horrible. Horrible.
I'm one that will tell it like it is. I'll give you for instance. I had a multi-level marketer representing a very well-known company in the legal field, and she met me about 2 years ago, and she talked to me, very pleasant, was talking about a family plan for to cover my family for legal action, and she was well known throughout her community. And so I said, okay, it sounds nice. Thank you for the information. Didn't sign anything or sign up with her. The following week, I went back to a networking group, and she approaches me again saying, so what'd you think? Are you ready to sign up? And I said, no, thank you again. And again, this is just, I'm being cordial, polite to people, but in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, wow, back off. So this little routine persisted for about 4 months, and another representative of the same company came in and was now talking about business plans. Well, to me, that's right up my alley. How can I be protected legally for, call it $50 a month, and never have to worry about searching for an attorney? I can just go to this, use my membership and go to this site. Long story short, I signed up with the second person because she was talking about business plans. The first one never mentioned the business plan, so I thought, okay, there's two separate reps, or they handle different departments. 8 months later, the first rep comes up to me and says, look, I talked to you first. And because I spoke with you first, you were obligated to sign up with me. And I have a problem with that. And I was reading a book that says that if you have a problem, to face the person you're having a problem with. And I said, oh, didn't know we had a problem. She says, and she points it at me, the person who is promoting trusted businesses in front of the whole gang. She says, you have no integrity. Ooh, because you did not sign up with me, and I took you to lunch and we talked about all this. And I kind of put my hand up. I said, wait, I think you're mixing me up with somebody else, because I've never broken bread with you. I said, we had a cup of coffee, but I never signed anything with you. You never spoke about business. So long story short, she was going around to various other people, and this is where the bad business comes in play.
Oh no!
It's product knowledge. Product knowledge. If you don't understand your own company, if you're representing somebody else, own company's bylaws,
AJ,
you're gonna look bad.
AJ, we missed some of the story. You said we were just at the part telling her to slow down, and you put your hand up.
Oh, are you still with me there? Looks like I lost you on some little bit of feed. So I'll back up to where I put my hands up. I told her that she was mixing me up with somebody else, but she was very, very adamant that it was me that she broke bread with, and we had a business discussion. She claimed that I had signed something, but I didn't. I told her I didn't sign anything, and she started bashing. This is where reputation precedes any business owner, any representative in any multi-level marketing industry. You got to know your product. And there's nowhere that says that if I spoke to one particular representative of this company, that I actually have to do business with them and not somebody else. I actually filed a formal complaint about, towards this person, because I found out that she was going around and telling everybody the same story. If you just talk to me about this business that I'm representing, you have to sign up with me down the road, which is not true. And that was affecting my other members' revenue. Bad business is all over. Product knowledge, you, Karen, with the veterinary clinic incident, they need to understand. She might have been reading in her computer what was going on, but why? I mean, there's got to be more written documentation. There has to be a second system, a backup system, is what I taught at the veterinary clinics for the techs, to double check your work before you give the dog another shot that is not necessary. That's money coming out of the doctor's pocket as well. So poor management is what it sounds like happened at your veterinary hospital. Putting it on social media, that can spread like wildfire real quick.
And can I also add to that? Because
of course.
Your experience was, and I think you mentioned it, it came down to, in both experiences, that we didn't enjoy the experiences, and we're really displeased with them. It came down to communication. It came down to that person, first of all, 8 months holding a grudge that you weren't even aware of, and if she's saying it to you after 8 months, that means she's already told probably a bunch of people without giving you the opportunity to even address or speak to it. And it really came down to her not following up with you in the first place and saying, you know what, you see, the first time she's like, hey, you want to do business? And you were like, no, back off type of feeling that she got from you. It was really up to her at that point to say, it seems like you're not ready for this type of plan or something. I didn't answer something for you, or this is something that you don't want. Could you tell me what, maybe why you're not interested in buying at this time or signing up for this service at this time? Had she taken that moment to clarify what was going on, she would have walked away knowing that she didn't present you anything that you were interested in, and that she didn't even think about, you know, you're a business owner. And when the other person signed you up, she still had another chance to come back and say, hey, you signed up with so-and-so. It seems like there was something that they said versus what I said that was more appealing to you. Can you tell me what happened here? And you would have had that opportunity to go ahead and address the situation. But instead, she bottled it up for 8 months and then blew it back at you, and then made herself probably damage her reputation, because it also sounds like it was very, very immature at the same time. Now, my situation with the vet, as far as the communication, it's like I'm a human standing in front of you, having an interaction. You keep looking in this computer, and what she was doing is she was half listening to me. She wasn't really listening to me, because as soon as I would say anything, she was kind of like, yep, I see that, yep. Instead of stopping, pausing, looking me in the eyes and saying, okay, so tell me what happened. Your dog was here last week. This is what happened. Blah, blah. And then walking through it, she then could have had that opportunity to get really clear about what my dog did need versus didn't need. And for anybody just joining on, hi, Online Events. I forget your first name, and Mamoon and Sandra. Sandra, yes, Sandra, so glad to have you. Or is it Sandra? I don't know. You know, we're talking about bad experiences that we had with businesses, and okay, great. Bad experiences that we had with businesses. And, you know, I had a experience where my dog got double vaccinated. So at that point, you know, the technician wasn't taking the time to even just talk to me. She just kept relying on the computer. So communication is so key. The following up conversation, the making sure that you're both on the same page, clarifying throughout the conversation goes a long way. I'm going to let Ha on as well. She has, she's a success coach and a speaker.
You know, one other thing that I can always, I will demonstrate when I'm giving some type of mentoring to a brand new networker is, let's go to a network event, but watch the body language of what an aggressive person that's all about sales and not about getting to know the other person, watch how they interact with their prospects versus somebody that comes in the room with no agenda for themselves other than, I want to find who I can help today. And that reputation, I mean, that's good business versus bad business right there. You want to be able to step into the room and people say, oh, boy, that guy, he really helped me out last time. I want to introduce him to whomever they may be speaking with at the time. But you can see when people go into all these mixers, events, and they're just handing out business cards. I don't know who you are. I was at a very large event a couple months ago, a couple thousand people, and one person was just giving business cards out, and I saw her coming around to me, and she gave it to me, and I looked at it, and this was kind of the most aggressive I've been, but I laid it back on the table in front of her, and I said, what is this? And she said, well, that's my business. I said, no, you're in front of me. You're your own business. Tell me about you. Without this business card leading as who you are, I said, I want to know who you are. Tell me how long you've been in this business. What got you into this business? Who are you looking to connect with? And when you do that for somebody, they get that bad reputation can change into a great reputation. Sometimes it's just somebody letting them know, hey, I gotta.
AJ, your audio is a little choppy. Can you check your audio? All right. While you do that, I'm going to have Ha come on because you made some excellent points about, you know, that speed. Here's a business card. Here's a business card. Here's a business card. My whole approach is save some paper, use your mouth. Let's see if it's even a need for a business card exchange. Because if I'll follow up with you, I'll ask you for your business card. If you're just giving me a business card, I don't need any more paper in my office. Look, I'm a paper fanatic. I got enough paper of my own. I don't need other business cards. Yeah, you froze up a little bit. Oh, he fell off. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Come on in. Hello.
Hi. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Yeah, what you said that made me encourage me to jump in. Yes, communications is the key of any relationship. And you're talking about, with the customer, with your boss, with your family, communication is the key. And I can feel for AJ because, people, please stop look at somebody else at your profit center. And because you look at them and you're approaching them and just like they are the people that you have to approach and then to get them on your business, listen first and to meet them where they at. And then you will see that not everybody have the personality to do what you want them to do.
Right.
But you go in there and you try to looking for the way to meet the people and to understand where they're coming from, and to make some connections, and try to see if you can help them in any way they can. And for for the business cards, the Japanese, if you hand in the business card to them, they will take it with two hands and they look at that. They try to understand what is your business get. That's a piece of the real estate that they hold in their hand. They treasure it and they embrace it. But I apologize when I say American. For most of us here, we just go to the network and we have a stack of business card. We just hand it to people. Just like, because if you go to Vista Print, costs $5.99 for 500, then you decided just to, to hand out just like no tomorrow.
It's like making it rain. It's like, yes. Come on now.
Come on. Just take
time.
I
absolutely agree with Katrin. I agree with her. I mean, that business card, and I fully respect the way that the Japanese will hand the business card with two hands. I just learned that actually a few months ago, and wow, what a huge respect that is. But it also made me aware that that business card, we all pay for these business cards in increments of $250. If you use Vistaprint, if you use a local printer, they usually do them in increments of $500 or $1,000. You paid for those business cards. That's like handing money out. And so when you can gauge, hey, my business card is worth 6 cents a piece, and you're going to go hand out 100 just out and about, it's not your message for $6 is not being carried out as well as you making that connection with one person and handing them your business card after they're truly interested. So I agree with Hatran about with the business cards. It's so true that's it's your business, but that's the following, not the preceding.
Yeah, I think you have to earn that relationship, earn that follow-up conversation, earn the communication, connect with people, get to know people, rather than, just assume that somebody's going to do business with you. And here's something else. And I do a lot of measurement of this too. And I said this earlier in the broadcast. I'm probably a tough judge of character. And yes, it's judgment, call it what you will, but I am a tough judge of character because I used to be a sales trainer. And so it's kind of ingrained in me some of the best practices and some of the worst practices about how you conduct business and what makes business go forward and how to be authentic and to really cultivate relationships. And there is nothing that speaks to me more when you do make a connection with somebody. Yeah, I can close, Nick. I can close. But you do make a connection with somebody and, it's like, okay, I'm going to follow up with you. And if you follow up and then the person doesn't respond, or if the person's like, I'm going to follow up and they don't respond, that tells me a lot about how you value the relationship. What you're thinking, where your priorities lie. And a little goes a long way. A quick email, hey, it was great to meet you. Because there's nothing worse to me than the person who has a stack of business cards and then they take them, they sit them on their desk when they get home, and then they're just like, well, I'm going to do something with them someday. And I'll tell you, when I first started in my business, I made that mistake because I wasn't at that point. As much as I could sell, I couldn't sell myself. So I kind of undervalued that part of the relationship. So I had these stacks of business cards and I didn't know what to do with them. But I have since learned, and what I teach is that you make those personal connections, and you only make the personal connections of the ones that people that you really can see that it's going to go somewhere. Either you are going to work together, or you can refer that person because you know how to help that person. Something where you are going to build a relationship, but don't just act like it didn't happen. Because when you see that person again, then it's kind of embarrassing. It's kind of like, oh, hey, yeah, we met, and I never followed up. And people
going back to the business cards. Yeah, you can go to an event and get a stack of business cards, but know that you need to follow up. Extremely important. So if you've got 100 business cards, are you really going to be sending out 100 follow-ups? And are they going to look authentic, genuine, personable versus something that was just generated and you just plugged in their name? Did you really connect with 100 people? Can you remember their names? Can you remember what they did? Yes, you can write that stuff on a business card. I have my own system as to when somebody hands me a business card, whether or not I'm going to follow up with them, whether or not I'm going to try to do business with them. And it's not folding the card or anything like that. You want to have a pocket system, and ladies, use your purse for that as well, because you never know when you're going to pull that business card out and it has a folded corner. We're all very observant, and you're wondering, okay, why did that person fold that corner of my business card? Because people circulate around and you see that. But I was actually taught that if you don't have time to follow up with 100 people, you don't need 100 business cards. Again, they become a stack, like a file system that looks like you're lost in translation on your desk.
I so resonate with you both because, like AJ said, when you hand the business card to somebody and they look at it and they will making notes, where the event they meet you and whatever that, the note for them. And that is somebody that worth to have your business card. And then when you go to the networking, the goal is just to meet 5, maybe you meet 100, but you make 5 connections. Because that is, you just don't go in there and try to make the connection with 100 of people. Because then you cannot possibly know how to handle it correctly. And then, Karen, I love when you're talking about the relationship, you talk about cultivating. Yes, for every relationship, you have to cultivate it because you just cannot say that, to make a connection and to build a relationship up on something. Any relationship worth having and keeping, that the relationship that you have to cultivate it.
Absolutely. Well said, huh? And because it really is, it should be quality over quantity. The quality of relationships over the quantity of relationships. I can know, it's like even on social media, I can have 3,000 people as my friends, but do I really even know 3,000 people in real life? And are those 3,000 people even the best people for me to have on my Facebook page? I can look like I have all this stuff, but if I am not cultivating the relationships and going deep and getting to know people, none of that matters. So it's really important. I want to take us back a little bit to, because we're talking about good and bad experiences with businesses, and we've shared a couple. What would be some key tips? I'm going to start with you. I'm going to start with you. Some key tips that you would give businesses as far as the interactivity, as far as how can I make the best first impression with someone to say, oh my gosh, I really want to get to know you and your business better. And AJ, I think you have a little background noise. Can you mute for a sec?
Okay, for me, it's good. It starts with a good intention. When I make the connection with somebody, I make it from my heart. And then, and I will look at the person. Earlier, you mentioned about the people busy doing something, and then we say, yeah. That's why I love this type of the connection, because we have to look at each other. We have to listen to each other tentatively. We just cannot go to do this and do typing and something respond to each other. If I with you, you are the most important person in front of me, because the person that I need to cultivate the relationship with, the person that I need to connect with, because if I'm looking for somebody else, I'm chasing for somebody that I don't have. I have you in front of me. That make our conversation worth remembering. And then when you talk about you are sell people, and I do a lot of sell too, but then people talking about probing, and I hate that. Have a curiosity. Get out of the curiosity. You want to know about the person. You want to help them. You want to connect with them. And that is the way to build a relationship. Not just because you want to do all the probing question in order for you to see and to wait for them to stop talking, then you can make your pitch. No, that's so wrong, because we are not the people born yesterday. We can smell it, we can see it, we can feel it.
Oh, okay. I just want to know, Han, anybody else, if you feel that you just love Han, give her some props. Like, really, the way she just, even the energy she gives is just like, I want to talk to you. She's just beautiful. She is absolutely beautiful. She is just wonderful. And you can tell that when a person gets to know you, that you wholeheartedly embrace people. Yes. That's the energy that you give off. That's the vibe you give off. And, it sounds like you are very, very honest about you're the most important person in the room to me.
Yes.
And just even how you're presenting yourself now, you're delicious. I just love you. And you brought forth some amazing points. We are definitely in a society right now that we are glued to our phones. We're glued to our computers. We're constantly looking down instead of looking up. We're always thinking. And what you brought up was so important about probing. And, I liken it to being robotic. If you're being robotic about connecting to people, it is a disconnect. People feel that, like you said, they feel it, they know it, they sense it, they smell it, and nobody wants to do business with that. No. Nobody wants to do business with a shell of a person.
Right.
They want to do if I am going to invest in you in some way, shape, or form, I want to feel that you value my investment. That means I have to feel that I am important to you, and that, that you are bringing me in, and that you're going to look out for my best interests. And I don't care if I'm going into a restaurant. I don't care if I'm at the gas station. I don't care if I'm giving you my money because you're my financial advisor. I think we all want to feel that where we're investing our money, it matters. It's going to make a difference to that person, and that we matter, that we're just not a number, that we're not just, somebody who just came in here. Mm-hmm. And so I think for businesses, whether you're a solopreneur or whether you run a larger business, it's really important for the culture of your business to dictate that people first, that people matter, that people are what keeps my business going, and that I need to have the practice of being in touch and connecting deeply with people. So I love everything that you said. You're just adorable. She's just fantastic.
Thank you. Well said. Because when I work with my client too, I will sit in the front row. I will be your cheerleader. I will in the back row to support you in every way I can. And I will at the end of the line, I will high five you and pump my fist with you when you get there. Together, that's our success. That's our journey.
Yes.
That's how we have to do. You just cannot just collecting the money and. See, for every gift, I keep on saying to my clients all the time, there are no free lunch. Every gift, every talent you have always come with the great responsibility. Even God given to you something, there's no free lunch, because He gave it to you with purpose, and you have to deliver that purpose.
You are just preach, huh? Preaching. Giving us some church on a Sunday morning, isn't she?
Yeah, I'm very true to myself. I don't make any pretend. Thank you.
Yeah, and it shows. And I think that's what speaks so loudly about what you're saying, is that you have this quiet power, but it's authentic. It is deep core. You can feel like that is the walk that you walk, and that your talk is not just talk. And so many people, and I don't begrudge people, because people start by just going out and sometimes they're just making mistakes, or just feeling things out, and they haven't quite centered and figured out who they are and what they're all about yet. But if you take yourself away from, I'm out here to do this, and make it, I'm out here to meet people, connect with people, get to know people, understand what their needs are, provide solutions, give some advice, give answers, point people in the right direction, there's a lot less pressure on you. And then there's a lot less, there's a lot less barriers in communication. There's a lot less barriers, and people don't feel like you're just out to get them. They feel like, okay, you're somebody who really wants to help me. And that makes people a lot more trusting. And, for all intents and purposes, yes, it's all about the know, like, trust factor, people. You're going to hear that a million times wherever you go. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that, because at the basic bottom level, when a business is getting people to invest in them, they want to invest with the knowing part of you. They want to invest with the likability, and they want to be able to trust. You trust that you're going to take good care of them. And so it doesn't matter how big your business is or how small your business is. If you come from that operation space of, I want people to know that I know and what I know, and that they can count on I'm credible. I want people to like me, and not be needy in their but, I want to be likable, and I want to be trusted and trustworthy and seen as trustworthy. Your business will not go wrong. Your business won't go wrong. But if you're out I just see people in dollar signs, and I got to get this person, and I got to add to my numbers, and I got to get to the goals, and look, I've trained thousands and thousands of salespeople, no lie. And I will tell you, the ones who always did the best and who went to the top of the, were the number one across the nation, and the number one in this and the number one in that, always had the best people skills. Always, hands down. I could tell you, I would sit there and I could see them coming in the door, their first day of training. I could tell you who was going to be at the top of the goals, and who was going to win, and who was going to be at the bottom. And the ones who were on top were the ones who just automatically, they came in and they were just comfortable in their skin, and they were just fun to be around, and they were just really good people, and they knew their stuff. They took the time to know their information. The ones who didn't do so well, where they were in it for themselves, or they just had to be there for the money, or they just took the job because it sounded like a good job. They were so disconnected from the people side of things that they could never get out of their own way. So, shift to people, focus on people. It makes all the difference. And that's what we want with the businesses that we do business with. I really want, when I go into a restaurant, I want to be seen as a person. I'm actually one of those people who talks to people in the grocery store.
Me too.
Straight. I can imagine. I know you do. And people are probably just standing there and they just look at you because you're just so great. But the thing is, you want to be seen, you want to be heard. That's the human experience. We love that. And some people are, if you're introverted, maybe you don't want to be seen and heard. That's fine. But at the same time, you do want to be noticed. You do want to be noticed. You might not want to be talked to. That might be a different, but you do want to be noticed. And so, if it's smiles, give me a smile, give me an acknowledgement. There's nothing worse to me. I live in the South now. I live in Virginia. And I tell you, the first thing that I experienced coming to Virginia, and this is the truth, y'all. If y'all think everything about moving to the South, this is the best part of it. I go in the grocery store, good morning, how are you? And I'm just like, you're one step in the doorway, and they're like, good morning. Somebody is looking at you and saying good morning. It just makes your day. And I could be coming in kind of grumpy, kind of like, oh, I'm not even up yet. I haven't had my coffee. And it's like, good morning, how are you? And immediately changes my mood, changes my attitude. And I'm like, wow, that was really nice. And mind you, I went to visit some stores in Connecticut. I'm originally from Connecticut. Where's my girl, Stephanie? She's still here. Whoop, whoop. And walked into the stores, and nobody notices you're there. The cash register girl is like, I can't wait till you get out of my line. It was such a different experience. And I hadn't noticed that when I lived up north. I hadn't really noticed the difference, but just how you feel in an environment makes a difference. And so if we can all strive to be that to our clients and customers, that makes a huge difference.
No, I agree with you totally. Confidence come from experience, but then the love for mankind, for the people that make you do your job diligently, to the people that do the business with you. And if I know that you care, I'm not a fool. I'm not going to looking for elsewhere. I will stay with you. And from the trust come to the loyalty, and I will be with you, babe. I will be with you.
Exactly. Hey, we're having a great discussion here, and we're definitely opening the seats to have you come in and share your experiences or share your perspective. We'd love to hear some stories about, yeah, that was a great experience I had, or wow, I had not so great experience, and talk about some of the experiences that you've had. And Stephanie brought up a good point. She's like, if you're in the North too long, that you're blind to the experiences. And I think it's kind of true. It's kind of true because okay, AJ still got too much background noise, so he can't come on right now. And please give some props to Han, because she's just dropping knowledge like bam bam bam. All I have to do is hit her little numbers, the little hands over there, and tweet about it and bring some people in the room to share some of these experiences. Because I went back to Stephanie's point about being up north. I guess I was immune to it. I was used to, and I think if you're from up north, you kind of laugh about it. You kind of laugh like, yeah, we don't really talk that. And that's not every store. It's not every experience. It's not every place up north. There's some very warm spots up north. I have a friend who owns a cafe up north, and it's Welcome Tom. It's tremendous. You go in, you just feel warm and loved and embraced. And of course, those places do exist. Even in the big box stores, some of the bigger stores, they do have their greeters at the door who are genuine and stuff. But it's a lot different in the Southern experience that I've had in my life, as far as coming down here and being in Virginia, and even my friends and family who come down, they're actually come down and people will say hi to them, and they're like, why they say hi? Why they, what do they want to know from me? I'm like, they're just saying hi. Even in our neighborhood, when we first moved in, this is how bad it is. When we first moved in, we're walking down the street and people are waving at us. And my husband and I are looking behind us like they could have been waving at us, but in our neighborhood, they wave, and again, it's just that, it's just that hospitality that's real, that it doesn't matter where you live. You can bring that to your business. You can be that to people, and you can have people fully feel embraced. And if you have that ability at any point, let me tell you what a game changer that is in your business. If you're not necessarily practicing that at this point, do yourself an experiment and see if you're warmer, if you're the person who greets somebody, like if you're out networking, you greet somebody first with a big smile and a direct eye contact, and you put your phone down, put it away when you're having conversations, you will see that there's a dramatic difference in the quality of the business and how much you enjoy your business. Wait, hold on. Sherry said that, or Sherry, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. She said she was in Denver. It was so strange, from Denver. Oh, Sherry, okay. The first time somebody said hi to you, you were like, this is so odd. And you're in Denver, they don't do that either. They're not like really like hi. I know, it's crazy, right? I mean, you assume, I guess, now that I'm down here, I get mad if I go someplace and people aren't greeting me. Oh, you moved from Denver to Florida. Oh, yeah, right. So when they first started in Florida, she's in Florida. So when they first started saying hi to her, she's like, why are you saying hi? Like, what's wrong? Like, what's going on? But, and it's just the norm. It's just the norm. And it makes, it's definitely made me say, people are like, oh, would you ever move up north again? Besides the cold weather? No, I probably wouldn't, because, I just love the feeling down here. So I'd probably stay here forever. Maybe not Virginia, but definitely in the South somewhere. All right. So I think somebody said, how give hand on my phone? Raina, you just hit the little hands. You should be able to see like the little hands around underneath. See where Han, it says 411, and there's some little hands there. If you click on those, just tap on your phone. You should be able to tap on your screen, and it should give it. I think so, because I usually do this from my desktop, so I'm not so sure. I think you got it though. All right. So, whatever what other tips do you have, or what other experiences have you had that let's talk about a not so great experience that you had that, left you like, I'm never coming here again, or I'm never doing business with this person again. And how did you handle it?
Again, go back to what AJ said. I hated to approaching any networking or any people, and they look at me that they're profit center, and to see what they can sell or what they can get it from me. Let talk to me first. Let meet me where I'm at, and to understand, to connect with me and to understand what I need. And then from that day, when I'm talking to you, you will listen to me tentatively, and then you acknowledgement what you heard, that I'm heard, and you're hearing what I'm saying, and then and if you have some solutions, make some recommendation or suggest it, but don't just hurry and not even know what is my problem, and you said you can help me with my problem. No. You don't know about the problem. When you want to solve the problem, you need to understand what is go into all of that. And because the problem solver to go in depth by asking the question, understand where it's coming from, and you work from there. Because Karen, I don't know if how often you hear people that just say they cannot even take time to listen to your problem, and then they start to give you solutions, or they start to, and that drives me crazy.
I didn't ask you to solve my problem.
No, I just wanted to listen and to understand and give me some empathy, and just say, okay, I can understand where you're coming from, and tell me more. And then at the end of that, you say, okay, now I hear what you said, and this and this. Now tell me, how can I help you? Is there anything I can help you with?
And that's a ding, 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 ding. What a beautiful point to recognize the power of questions, the power of listening. People tend to rush into giving those answers, right? Because it's almost like, let me show you how much I know. Let me show you how I can help you.
Yeah. Oh.
Right. And again, that's trying to position themselves. It's kind of like where they're trying to rush into the relationship. They're trying to like hug you before they've even asked permission. Yeah. It's like, I didn't ask you to hug me. Don't touch me. And if they just take, like you said, they pause, take time to ask questions. Just take times like, oh, that sounds like it's, and even validate that sounds like that's a challenge for you. Mm-hmm. There's a whole process that you can go through and just like have a fruitful conversation where you can uncover whether or not you can help a person and that person can be open to the help, or whether or not you can't help a person. And you can always help somebody. You can help somebody by saying, I'm not the person for you.
Yeah, right.
So you kind of free them up to go to the right person. And even like, I'm not the person for you, but from what I'm understanding that you're saying, then perhaps this might be the best person for you. Right. And kind of redirect them.
Karen, I want to add on what you and I just said earlier. The people and the right person for me, just like you and I, we have the conversation. You make me feel important. You don't say that how important you are.
That's right. That's right. Yes.
Because you make me feel like I'm important.
Yes.
And without saying that how important you are, when you start to say what you know and what can you do to help them, that you can say how important I am.
Yes.
It's not when you classify or you have the need to tell people how important you are. No, you are not the right person for me.
Absolutely.
Make me feel important. Make me feel loved.
Absolutely. We used to teach the WIFM. Everybody's tuned to a different channel, to a specific channel. We are all tuned to this channel. It's called What's in It for Me. And it's not necessarily I got to get something out of this, but we're all tuned to, why are you saying what's important? Like what you're saying is, why is it important to me? We just kind of want to hear that we are important in those conversations. And so what you're denoting is a lot of times people are always talking about themselves and forgetting that person on the other side is thinking about, okay, but what's that got to do with me? What's that got to do with me? It's just how we're hardwired that way. So if you really think about the other person, keep that other person in mind. I wanted to, a good referral makes you look good too. That's right. That is so right, Sherry.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I wanted to point out something that AJ said. And this is a great question, AJ. I think it's like, this is a question I wish we had a half hour ago, because we're probably going to wrap up within the next 5-10 minutes. But he said, if you have a bad experience, are you willing to give that business a chance to reconcile and retain your business? What about you, huh? And I think, well, go ahead. You start.
I personally believe in second chances, but again, in business, no, I don't, because I don't want to give that person a second chance at my own expense, because people don't change too much. And let me tell you a story of the scorpion and a frog. And somebody told me sometime long ago, and just say the frog, can leap over to the water and the pond pretty good, but the scorpion cannot do it. And the scorpion said, "Mr. Frog, can you give me a ride to go to the other side of the pond?" And the frog said, "No, I won't do that, because you will sting me and kill me." And the scorpion said, "Do you think I will do that? I won't do that." And after convincing, so the frog decided to give the scorpion a ride over there. And at the end, the scorpion stung the frog and killed the frog. And the frog said, "Why? You promised." And he said, "Mr. Frog, I'm a scorpion."
I love that story. Yeah, right? He's not going to change who he is. And yeah, I tend to agree with you too. Giving that second chance. I think there's some things that you can definitely forgive, but that doesn't mean you have to do business with them.
That's correct.
Doesn't mean you have to do business with them, And I go back to the very beginning. I talked about, how the veterinarian double vaccinated my dog. Fool me once. Fool me once. I'm not coming back. You're not going to get a second chance to now kill my dog. I'm sorry. So I think it's really important that I think it's also, it could be what happened, like what was that bad business? Was it something that was irreconcilable? But at the same time, I'd be very, very, very reluctant to go ahead and say, I'm going to go back into business with you.
Yeah, that me too. That me too.
Welcome,
yeah,
Brian.
Because somebody fool you one, that is, their problem. But if you let them fool you a second time, that is your problem. That's shame on you. So no, I might forgive. I like the way you put it. Yeah, I might forgive you, but I won't continue to do it, because I won't be the subject of your, I don't know what.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like, and I always go back to restaurants, because I think we've all eaten in restaurants. And when you go to a restaurant and say it's the first time you've ever been and the food was bad, what's the chance that you're going to go back again? Right? You're probably like, oh, the food's not good here. Now, if you've gone to a restaurant for a really long time and they have a bad night, then you might go back, right? Because it's a different situation. You're like, okay, you've already earned my trust. But if you go and the experience is horrible, like it's like, wait, maybe I stepped into a Twilight Zone. This is not even the restaurant I remember. And you hear they changed management or they changed owners, you're not going back, probably, because now you're like, you're not what you used to be.
Love that point. If you can eat that, you're satisfied with them, and just one day they do something wrong, you forgive them, you come back. Yeah. But you love you for that.
Yeah. So, and I'm saying good morning to people. Good afternoon. We have now gone into 12:01. Doc, I was going to call you Doc. AJ said he occasionally works with businesses that fell off the wagon and need reputation management. Yeah, I am. I'm sure you do. I'm sure you work with a lot. Imrez, I would let you in, but Yelp hates us. We're getting ready to wrap this up, but thank you for wanting to join. So we're going to do some final notes work. I'd love for you to tell us a little bit about what you do, and then pop in a link to your website or wherever you want people to follow you into the comment box.
Okay. Over here on the my right side. Okay.
Yeah.
See, I'm a speaker. I'm a life strategist, and a business coach. And people know me as a evangelist for hope.
Oh,
yeah,
I could see that. I could see that.
Uh-huh. And my website is HaTrendSpeaks.com.
Okay, so I'm going to write that. I'm going to put that in the box. HaTrendSpeaks.com. All right, so HaTrendSpeaks.com. Ha, where are you from? Where you live?
I live in Beverly, Massachusetts. Originally from Vietnam, and I am who I am because of my journey. So I'm one of the boat person doing the after the mess in Vietnam. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. So there's a lot to learn from you, a lot of riches that you bring, and just your overall presence and who you are and who you've been during this last hour. So appreciate you. You are amazing. And I definitely will follow up with you and go to your website and get to know you better. Follow Ha on tweet. Thank you so much, Sherry, for coming through. We really enjoyed having you too. AJ, want to say thank you to you for coming on and sharing your wisdom with us and your experiences. Like AJ he's just got a wealth of information. He does so much to help businesses and their growth and to really help them have the best reputations. Again, I'm Karen Groves. Oh, that's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry about your sound. It's fine. You were very valuable. So I appreciate you. I'm Karen Graves. You can contact me at karengraves.org. You know, my job is to go out and help businesses grow their businesses and help you have more clients, cash, and confidence, and to sell authentically and to market ethically so that you do have a reputation that is polished and, you know, and that people really enjoy the person that you are and the work that you do. And so do you, because that's so important. It's been such a pleasure having you. I'm going to be on a little later. And so if you want to come back, I think I'm coming on just about right before 5 o'clock. I'm going to be talking about blabbing. I am now a certified blabaholic. I started a week ago and I think I've been on Blab like every day, all day. I love it. I think it's a great platform. So I'm going to be talking about Blab and how you can use it for your business, how you're using it for your business. If by then you're a little bit more awake and you want to come in and jump in and have part of that conversation, please come back at 5 o'clock and let's talk about all things Blab and how you can use this platform, even if you're just getting started or you wanted to, really leverage it in your business. All right. So thank you so much for hanging out with us today. And I'm Karen Graves. You can follow me here. KarenGraves.org, or you can follow me on, it's been great having you guys. And thank you. You are awesome. I can't wait to see you on the other side. We're going to stay in contact. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You do.
Have a great one. Bye.
Goodbye.
Thanks, AJ. Bye.